there's a lot of talk about AI agents. What do you think? Is it for real? Are AI agents going to be a big game changer with this implementation of AI and large language models?
No, I agree with you. The agentic workflows, AI agents are being a big talking point right now. I mean, things are evolving very, very fast right now. I think agentic AI will play a big role in the future. But only time will tell how deep we go. And I also believe there's going to be new technology. So any company that goes into the space has to keep reinventing their stack and figure out what new is coming down the pike and absorb it into their infrastructure.
And I believe LLMs are most effectively used along with AI agents.
Yeah, absolutely.
AI agents are sitting on top of it.
Yeah.
And what we have realized with some of our clients when we have worked on actual analytics projects, you just can't ask deep questions just using ChatGPT or any of the LLMs directly.
I think agentic AI is the big differentiator. Anybody can start using LLM, but agentic AI allows you to do it in a standardized manner, repeatable manner. And most companies that are looking to use Gen AI LLMs are primarily focused on efficiency, effectiveness, accuracy, and you can only achieve that if you have a repeatable work process, which I think agentic AI tools provide that kind of work.
So you make a very valid point. There are agentic workflow frameworks are available in the market. And for instance, for a client, we used it, we worked on their data to generate business insights. And initially, when we started working on those projects, the accuracy was not very high.
Yeah.
So over a period, we continue to evolve our AI agentic workflows. We created a team of AI agents, a manager, a supervisor, analyst, a person who is then summarizing the whole thing like an AI agent, not a person. And then it could give a lot of root cause analysis. It could drill down deep into questions. What is my sale in the last 6 months?
Yeah.
But which are the reasons by which product my sale is going down? And what are the reasons for it? So it could go to nth level.
Yeah. And that's the beauty, I think, of agentic AI and what I have seen and kind of try to apply it back to my past experiences. Sitting with the head of business, him asking me a question about how likely are we to hit the sales target for the year when we're sitting in the month of April. Typically, that would have been a 3 to 4 week exercise for my team. With agentic AI and LLMs in general, with the right level of tuning, I could answer that question real time almost, I feel, for that leader. And think about the power that it brings, that you're now able to get answers to your questions that may be, rhetoric questions, but they are important questions that need to be answered for you to make the right decision. So that's where I see the real power. You'll get the efficiency at the analyst level, at manager level, but the speed of decision making and the accuracy of decision making for senior leaders, for business owners, is going to be tremendously improving.
Sure. But don't you think companies like us, TransOrg Analytics, we are sort of re-engineering our work, and if we are, our 5 analysts or data scientists are working for a client, now they would just need to work with 2 data scientists and rest is done by AI agents. So what is your thought on that?
You and I have seen transformations happening all our lives, right? It's important for people to rethink how they're going to do their job. The good difference that I see now versus 30 years ago is a lot of people want to be ahead of the game. They don't want to be told they don't have a job anymore. They want to make sure they're re-engineering themselves for the use of advanced tools. And Gen AI is one of those tools that's going to be very, very big differentiator in the next 5 years. I mean, people want to have Gen AI usage on their resume. That's going to be a clear differentiator going forward.
I know there has been a lot of talk about the impact on jobs. What is your view on that? I mean, I strongly believe there is going to be an impact on jobs, but jobs profiles would change with more efficiency and better sort of speed and accuracy. People will start focusing on something else. What is your thought on that?
I completely agree. The jobs are going to change tremendously. Does that automatically mean it's going to be fewer jobs? Probably yes, fewer jobs of a certain kind, but more jobs of a kind that we probably don't even know. I mean, think about this. A data engineer job did not exist 20 years ago, probably. A data scientist job is probably less than 10 years old at this point in the mainstream. So, we will have new jobs. People will have to constantly reskill. And like I said before, it's what I see is people are very excited about reskilling themselves. I talk to people in colleges at this stage, and they are all thinking ahead. They're not afraid of what's going to happen to their jobs in 5, 10 years. They are excited about the future.
And this field is evolving so fast, and continuous upskilling is required.
Yeah.
Every month, every 3, 4 months, there is a new technique. There's a new LLM, a better version of the LLM is available in the market. And people who think that it's all fab are sort of going to miss on the opportunities.
Yeah. Remember the time when we were kids and we had these video games in the market and there were so many different titles that were so similar to each other? But look at it now, you have fewer popular titles now, which are just so industry changing that, think about Call for Duty. There were so many games like that, but Call for Duty is probably a religion right now with all the sorts of things that are happening around it. So I feel like in the space of Gen AI as well, with all the different LLM players out there, there probably will be a lot of consolidation, a lot of improvement in what we have available today. So I feel it's going to be a huge positive change in the industry.
And at TransOrg Analytics, I can share some of the experiences on Gen AI projects. 2, 3 things which we have done well. Of course, over a period, we have mastered the art of AI, training AI agents. We have evolved that so much that accuracy levels have almost gone to 99% plus, and sometimes it is 100%.
Yeah.
Number two, the speed. Earlier, some of the queries were taking long time, but now it happens in seconds.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the cost has also come down.
Yeah.
Not only a function of optimizing the infrastructure, different operationalization kind of steps like LLM ops as we call it. So we have optimized all of that, and of course now with you would have all of these Chinese models or American models or wherever in Europe.
Yeah.
The LLM companies have come up with better models.
Yeah.
And of course, the tokens, the cost of compute as well as inferencing has also come down. So as we have seen in the past, typically when these technologies come over a period, the cost goes down. So it is not just going to be available for enterprises and big corporates. Even small companies, medium-sized companies can effectively use it.
Right.
What are the use cases in financial services? Credit card companies, banking, they have this fear of not using Gen AI LLMs because of data security issues, compliance, protocols. They're taking more time than a lot of other companies. What are your thoughts on that?
I kind of understand where the banking and finance companies are coming from. The compliance requirements are so stringent for them. They can't just take decisions like some other companies that are not as regulated as the banks are. I think they will take their time, but once they have figured out how to use these tools in a more effective manner and a compliant manner, you will see a huge rush of use cases coming out. I see so many use cases from marketing to sales to core finance to operations, everywhere. I think everywhere within the banking organization, risk management, credit decisioning, all of those areas are going to benefit from this. We may also see specialized LLMs being built for financial applications,
of course.
so that they can be much more compliant. That probably will happen. I'm sure some big companies are already working on it. And we'll see something come out designed for banks in the near future. The point about
anyway, sorry to interject. Anyway, companies are fine-tuning their models with domain-specific data, their own enterprise data.
Right.
So those models, of course, are going, and you don't need to necessarily use large language models. It could be small language models or fine-tuned specifically to that client or to that industry. That's going to be really.
It's going to be massive. I mean, I remember working on various different insights capabilities as early as 2014-15, and we were struggling with some of the capabilities that are available now in a point-and-click interface. So yes, technology is evolving at a rapid pace, and I think we will see some huge improvements in the next few years.
Sure, sure. The whole security, and I would call it the real fear of security, and I agree with them. They have to be careful about the security issues. But I think it's similar to what happened with cloud 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Banks, financial services were really late in
Right.
adopting cloud
Right.
because data centers are not in India or in US, wherever your residing country is. So it's going to be the same case here.
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, if somebody asked a financial company data executive about using cloud, there was no way they would have been able to say yes, we are open to it. But today you see so many companies using the cloud, and clouds being custom designed for financial institutions.
But I've seen a huge shift. Even big financial services company banks are seriously trying.
Yes.
Unlike cloud, they were totally against the idea.
Agree.
But now they don't want to miss the boat.
I think the key focus is keeping yourself ahead of the competition, bringing your costs of doing business down, and doing it in a very compliant manner. And I think the tools from Gen AI perspective provide that with a degree of fine tuning and tweaking required to make them compliant in the very near future.
Well, again, there's a lot of hot topic around China coming up with DeepSeek and some of these cost-effective models. They have developed this model at a fraction of a cost. But there may be fears around some of the countries not using it or whatever it is. But to me, frankly, this is good for the competition. This is good that globally China and hopefully countries like India would come up and create cost-effective models. To me, this is very good for creativity, competition, and everything. What are your views on that?
I completely agree with you. I think the ability for countries like China, India, to create their own individual use cases, or even just base large language models, is not just important, it is critical for them to stay competitive. In a global world that we have lived in for the last 20, 25, 30 years, things are going through a dramatic degree of change, both from an economic perspective as well as political standpoint. And I feel like each country having a product and a capability that allows them to compete effectively for the next 15, 20 years is important. And I think Gen AI tools is going to play a big role in that.
Okay, we touched about upskilling and reskilling, but talent has been a huge issue in AI and data science field. I know that now a number of universities have come up with specialized courses in BTech and bachelor's in technology and bachelor's courses in AI at research, PhD level and post-graduation level as well. There's a lot of specialized AI courses which have been introduced. I think that is good for developing the talent pool. I think industry and academia have to work hand in hand to build that talent pool. And we have this education division where we work with universities to come up with well-structured AI programs so that students are industry ready as soon as they pass out from the college.
Correct.
What do you think about it?
One is very important for the universities and the governments to play an active role in making sure we have the right talent pool. But also the talent today is so different and much more competitive than what I've seen in the past. People are learning on their own from whatever source they can. I think I personally use YouTube a lot. I see a lot of young people going to YouTube and just learning on a new topic. Remember going to classes to learn SQL many, many years ago. Today, you could pick up SQL in a matter of a couple of hours using YouTube videos. So those online channels that are probably not even sponsored by any university or any government are going to be a big source of learning as well. And
so much of content available online.
Absolutely. And I think people can play and learn on their own as well with a lot of the tools that are available for free to students. So I think that's going to really change the pace at which the talent that we have in the market today is going to upskill themselves. And I think a lot of companies have realized that it's probably easier to hire somebody with the basic skills and train them internally versus look for trained talent, which may not always happen.
Right.